Comparison between these two, well, at least for the camera that is, well, camera comparisons are a little bit complicated to do. It actually takes a lot of work to make them. That is why not a lot of people in tech actually do them. But for now, as the title suggests, this is going to be a comparison for the display, the design, the performance. Yes, I'm going to be doing a quick speed test right here, and a little bit of gaming. But yes, let me just give you a quick preview on what the camera comparison will look like. So I took a picture of a leaf lying on the floor. Let me just show you the POCOPHONE F1 right here. This is coming from the 12 megapixel sensor on the POCOPHONE F1. As you can see, let me just zoom in a little bit. The details are very good. Yeah, pretty good. And now for the Redmi Note 7, let me just zoom in a little bit. And take a good look at that. That is coming from the 48 megapixel camera of the Redmi Note 7. The amount of detail on the Redmi Note 7 is just 10 times better. It is 10 times sharper, and the colors and contrast is just so much better. Well, actually, I am not done yet. With a 48 megapixel camera, you can zoom in all the way. This is almost micro level zooming right here. Just incredible piece of technology coming from the Redmi Note 7. And I'm not saying that the Redmi Note 7 is completely the winner here. Of course, this is in Pro mode using 48 megapixels. This is using photo mode on the POCOPHONE F1. So yes, that is a quick glimpse of the upcoming camera comparison video between the Redmi Note 7 and the POCOPHONE F1. By the way, my channel is focusing heavily into bang for the buck smartphones just like this, and even do comparisons. So if you're into that, just subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any of my great content. And without further ado, let the battle begin. No. Alright, here we go. First off is the design. Now the Redmi Note 7 has a gradient glossy back design. The color we have here is a combination of pink and red. Well, Xiaomi actually named this as Twilight Gold. I'm not sure why, but it certainly looks like red or pink. The back is very elegant. It is beautiful. It is screaming for attention. It is one of the most beautiful designs I have ever seen on a mid-range phone. Period. Not only is it beautiful, but it's also made out of tough material. This is no ordinary glass back. This is Gorilla Glass 5 right here. So don't worry about scratches or dents or any damage. This is one durable phone. Now in comparison, the POCOPHONE F1 looks very simple. Well, it's actually hideous if you put it beside the Redmi Note 7. There's no doubt about it. When it comes to design, the Redmi Note 7 just demolishes the POCOPHONE F1. This, my friends, is made out of cheap material. It's made out of plastic, but it is matte, so you won't get as much fingerprints as on the Redmi Note 7. It is curvy at the sides. As opposed to the Redmi Note 7, this has a flat back. The placement of the components is also much better on the Redmi Note 7. The camera right here is at the right location. It should always be at this side, never above the fingerprint scanner. This, my friends, is a design flaw. There is a high chance you would always press the camera instead of the fingerprint scanner right here. With the Redmi Note 7, you won't have that issue. But of course, the camera bump on the Redmi Note 7 is quite huge. Look at that. And because of that, it will not lay flat on the floor. There's actually a fix for that. Just use the included jelly case and it will even out the camera. And even with a jelly case, there's still a little bit of camera bump right there, but yes, a lot more stable now. As you can see right here, the POCOPHONE does not have that issue. Its camera is flat, but yes, it is ugly. But there's actually a solution to that. Just buy an awesome case. Cap over. And now for the sides, let me just show you the sides right here. Now both sides are made out of plastic. Yes, the side of the Redmi Note 7 is made out of plastic as well. The Redmi Note 7 is a little bit thicker. At the sides, they have the same button layout. Power button, volume rockers. At the left side, we have the SIM tray, both identical. One dedicated nano slot and one hybrid one for an SD card and another SIM card. And at the top, we have the headphone jacks. But the thing is, the Redmi Note 7 has a IR blaster. The POCOPHONE F1 does not. And at the bottom, they are the same. Two speaker grills, but just one actual speaker working, and yes, USB Type-C. Now the display is where things get a lot more interesting. Both are sporting a 1080p Full HD Plus IPS display. As you can see, the Redmi Note 7 is following the newer, trendier, smaller notch. While on the POCOPHONE F1, it's still using the iPhone notch right there. It is huge, it is ugly, it is very obtrusive. The bezels on the Redmi Note 7 is much thinner compared to the POCOPHONE F1, as you can see. Same right here at the chin. The display quality is pretty much identical. This is the max brightness you will get for both phones. Looks pretty much the same, right? Colors, saturation, contrast, and even viewing angles. And this is how content looks on both phones. The Redmi Note 7 has a much more seamless experience right here. Almost edge to edge. This notch on the POCOPHONE F1 is kind of a hindrance. It's actually covering a huge part of the view. That is something to really consider. And now, for the exciting part, the speed test. Now this is going to be a quick speed test. We already know who is much faster right here. The POCOPHONE F1 has the Snapdragon 845 processor, which by the way is a flagship processor last year. And the Redmi Note 7 only has a Snapdragon 660. It is an okay mid-range processor. Now this is just going to be a quick speed test. It is expected that the POCOPHONE F1 is much faster here, but since we're curious, let us just find out how much faster the POCOPHONE F1 is compared to the Redmi Note 7. Okay, that wasn't so much faster. YouTube. Okay, that was big. That was a big difference right there. Google Chrome. And this is loading much faster. Okay. Alright, that's a few second difference. And Facebook. There's no doubt about it. The Snapdragon 845 processor is just dominating right here. And for games, Temple Run. Okay. Whoa, that was fast. This is lagging behind. Okay, that was quite a marginal difference. And now for Asphalt 8. As you can see, this is really snappy. The moment I touched icon, it just loaded very quickly. Look at that. Hungry Shark. Alright, see that? Super snappy. And it's already done. I think that's a 3 to 4 second difference. Mario Run. This is just loading so smoothly, as if there was no lag at all. And there you have it. There was simply no competition right here. The POCOPHONE F1 demolished the Redmi Note 7 in terms of performance. If you are definitely into games, the POCOPHONE F1 is the way to go. But yes, if you do consider the price, this will cost you a lot more. And from what I just saw, this was no slouch. It's definitely worth it for the price. Speaking of pricing, the Redmi Note 7 can go as low as $150 up to $200 for the highest variant. That is, if you actually buy it directly from China. Shipping and tax is totally a different thing. While the POCOPHONE F1 is currently retailing for as low as $300 up to $435 for the Armored Edition. And finally, everyone's favorite, the PUBG game test. Now, because the POCOPHONE has the Snapdragon 845 processor, it can go to HDR, ultra frame rates, realistic, while the Redmi Note 7 is stuck at HD. Alright, here we go. As you can see, the POCOPHONE F1 is a lot smoother compared to the Redmi Note 7. No, that is just internet. People are just coming in. As you can see, there's a little bit of lag on the Redmi Note 7 because there's a lot of people now. But on the POCOPHONE F1, look how smooth that is. Just very seamless and effortless on the POCOPHONE F1. Here is the plane. Yep. And as you can see, the POCOPHONE F1 is just much smoother right here. Even the tire settings, it is just killing it. And this is just HD, and still it is a little bit lagging, as you can see right there. This is 40 to 50 frames per second. This is like 30 frames per second. And there you have it, guys. If you're heavily into gaming, there is no doubt about it. If you have the cash, just go for the POCOPHONE F1. If not, the Redmi Note 7 is definitely worth every penny. And don't worry, the Redmi Note 7 will have a lot of updates coming soon, and everything will be much better. Of course, the POCOPHONE F1 has been out for a while now. It was released way back September. There has been a lot of updates already for the POCOPHONE F1. That is why the optimization level is at its peak. Right now, the POCOPHONE F1 definitely kills the Redmi Note 7 in terms of gaming and performance, period. And that's pretty much it for this comparison. Let me know, guys, in the comments below which phone was better for you. Of course, that's all I can cover for today. Still got a lot of comparisons coming your way soon. Camera, battery test, and of course, the full review of the Redmi Note 7. So if you have any questions on the Redmi Note 7, please drop them in the comments below so that I can answer them on the future review. Up next is the camera comparison between these two. And of course, I will test out Gcam. That is coming right up. So please do subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss it. This is Vince Domingo from TechBeans, and I'll see you on the next video.